Welcome back to another episode of For the Record. I'm Dwayne.
I'm Hope.
Today we got a hot topic for you. Is your favorite store closing?
An announcement from Macy's that's changing retail. The department store chain is planning to close 150 low-performing stores over the next few years.
Now, in some of the country's biggest cities, Starbucks will close stores.
Express is planning to close more than 100 locations.
Target announced today that it's closing 9 stores in major cities.
One of America's largest discount retail chains is planning to shut down about 1,000 of its stores nationwide.
Red Lobster closing at least 48 of its restaurants around the country.
It's the end of an era for Sam Ash. The iconic family-owned music store is closing all of its locations.
The parent company of Family Dollar says it will be closing nearly 1,000 stores over the next few years, with the first 600 shutting down this year.
And it's no, I guess it's not really a shock per se, because we've seen it since 2020.
Yeah, and we're hearing it a lot now on the news. So many chains, restaurant chains, retail, right?
Yeah.
Even pharmacies are changing.
Yeah, that shocked me.
Yeah, look, we got some good information, and we made sure we brought notes so that we can give you the points that you need and we need as entrepreneurs, right?
Exactly.
So let's get into it. The number of stores is anticipated to reach the highest closing since 2020, and it's 2024. So 4 years later, tons of stores are still closing. And
I don't think it's all blamed on the pandemic from 2020. I'm sure some trickle down effect happened, of course. But we seen that even before the pandemic. People were laying workers off, stores were closing, consumers aren't shopping like
because of inflation.
Because of inflation,
so it wasn't
exactly.
just the pandemic. We're talking about higher costs, and then when things inflate, we don't have enough money as consumers to purchase as we used to. Our purchasing power gets smaller.
Yeah, and which it makes sense. Like even here, at our home, we choose to buy certain things. Some staples we continue to buy.
Yes.
Some things we cut back on.
We had to.
I mean,
there's some grooming products mainly we're not letting go of.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And some food products, of course. But there's a lot of things we don't buy anymore. And we used to buy in bulk so that we didn't have to keep going back to the store. But now you buy as you need. Right? You buy as you need. And then let's talk about some of the retailers that have been affected, right? Yeah. Family Dollar.
Now look at this, Family Dollar.
It's a dollar store.
So you're saying that people aren't spending money in a place that's supposed to be relatively cheap.
Supposed to be relatively cheap, but y'all go do some research on the dollar store chain and see some of the hitting issues that they were having as well, because people were saying when they went to the register it rung up higher, the prices were higher. So they're not just facing inflation, they are facing imposter syndrome.
Really?
Yes, they are lying to their
well, that's another type of imposter syndrome, because that's a different type.
Different. And then you're talking about Rue 21. Listen, I can tell you the last time I was in Rue 21, I was 21. I went with my best friend. We went shopping. They're still around. I didn't even know they were still around.
I saw this in the mall, I guess. I didn't, never been in the store, because I guess it's for women, right?
Mainly women. Yeah, it's for teens.
But even that, remember back in the day when the mall was the thing?
Yes, even when we first met in 2004, so that's 20 years ago, we went to the mall all the time.
Yeah, we did.
And in 20 years, boom, malls are they're dead. They're closing them down, and major companies are buying them. You got SunPass buying out one mall, right? You got government entities moving into the malls,
and you know why? Because those big retailers like Macy's, Sears,
JCPenney.
Sears went out of business a long time ago. Before even I don't even think they was around pandemic time. But those anchor stores is what the malls rely on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
JCPenney.
Dillard's are still there.
And Dillard's. And then Macy's just recently go under.
Macy's is struggling too.
Man, another one, CVS. You're talking about pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, pharmaceuticals.
But they're pivoting as well. They're having to close down tons of stores, but they're also pivoting. They're trying to go more digital, which makes sense. So I get why they're closing down. It's not just inflation. We're having bankruptcy. We're not coming back. No, they're closing down and they're rebranding.
Yeah,
I like that.
And then a lot of them have to do so because of that online market. You can't compete with faster shipping, less overhead, because brick and mortar, it costs. It costs. You got utilities and you have your employees there, but when you pivot, like you just said, to an online, you cut out a lot of that. And
you only really need a few warehouses. You don't need as many manufacturers as well, because you have bulk items in your warehouse, right?
Yeah.
So when your customer presses, send, I want this, all you gotta do is go to the warehouse and pick it up. Now, Rite Aid,
I didn't even know they were still around. I don't know, maybe in some other state, but I don't see Rite Aid here in Florida no more.
Leave a comment. Where is Rite Aid? If it's in another state that you live in, please leave a comment. We have no idea. And let's also talk about, because it's not too far from us, Bed Bath and Beyond. They closed back in January.
Wow. Yeah.
Right, and they're closing. So Party City.
Yeah, people are not partying. Y'all, come on, man. That store. To me, like it's like I would say inflation proof, or I mean, everyone need balloons.
That's what it
you know
has
what I'm
to
saying?
be inflation proof. Everybody's still partying.
I guess nothing is inflation proof, but what I'm saying is everybody still parties. Everybody need those balloons.
Yeah, decorations.
And it's not really expensive. You think about it, but for them to have to close stores.
Something's wrong.
Signs of the times.
Signs of the times are here and everywhere. Tuesday morning.
Yeah, it's only a few of those.
Yeah, not a big fan, and they were pricey anyway.
Yeah,
so.
And then they had, like, to me, the stuff looked kind of used and outdated. Some of the stuff was used and outdated.
I think it was for certain type of people and styles. That's why it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even
they filed, the companies we just named, they actually filed for bankruptcy. They're not just closing stores because they're understanding the market. They're actually filing bankruptcy because they can't afford to have those many stores and pay so many employees.
Kind of like Red Lobster, with their endless shrimp. I'm going to say scrimp. With their endless shrimp, that backfired. I mean, trying to offer your customers discounted food, and they took advantage of it.
Oh yes,
people took advantage of it, but it drove them out of market. I mean, drove them out of business. Yeah.
And when I read an article a few months ago, I'm sure it's more now, but I think it was around February, March, when I read about Red Lobster. In their fourth quarter of last year, when they were doing endless shrimp, they lost $11.4 million in one quarter.
Greedy, man. People out there, you getting shrimp Alfredo, fried shrimp, butterfly shrimp.
All the shrimp. Walt shrimp.
What's it called?
Walt
shrimp.
Oh, perfectly fried shrimp. Moving right along, because we could talk about food all day.
But the foot traffic, people aren't, like I said, they're shifting to online instead. So that means people aren't going out no more to eat.
Not as much.
To go purchase goods and services.
You got Amazon.
But look, not even that. You have DoorDash, you have Uber. What's the other thing called? Instacart. Yeah. I mean, and we got to be careful because sometimes we don't even go to the store.
Sometimes,
right?
Let me be honest. A lot of times we don't go to the store. And I have become addicted to Instacart.
So what is that saying about going inside of because like here in Florida, there's no Kroger store, right? But they have a distribution center where you can order online.
Correct.
So if you see what I'm saying?
What you're saying. Publix,
Winn-Dixie, Walmart, even Walmart's closing stores.
Well, yeah, that's shocking because Walmart is a huge conglomerate, right? Like, I would never thought that Walmart had to close stores.
But looking at ordering from Instacart, now we're using us as a real example. You probably got a shopping cart already on Instacart right now.
I'm ready to eat. I need some things to help with dinner, but it's convenient.
It's convenient, but what is that doing to us not actually physically going to the store, walking into the store? What is that doing
First of all,
to Publix or Target?
It's showing them that they're having less foot traffic, which means they might not need so many brick and mortar buildings. So they're going to have to find a way to pivot as well. They might end up doing what Kroger is doing here in Florida, right? A lot of supermarkets may have to do that. Just have warehouses and you have your food delivered. Because having so many, I mean, listen, in our area alone, right, Dwayne, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Publixes in a 5-mile radius.
Right. Yep.
Who needs that many Publixes?
And I'm surprised that they haven't began to close some of those stores down. You know, and some of them are being built like new ones,
brand new ones.
So
Publix doing good.
I guess they say that we recession proof too.
It's my favorite store.
Yeah. But
so we did a little bit of analysis, and the main two things that we found is economic factors, which we cover, spending power. A lot of these retailers don't or can't afford the brick and mortar. And then we also realize consumer behavior. If we're not making as much, we can't
we're not spending as much. And let's talk about that, because are people going out still, like, to clubs?
Oh yes, there's a lot of people still partying.
Oh no, depending on age, I think it's age group, because like
definitely,
you know, I think it's dealing with like 18 to probably 34. I don't know, maybe when you get 40 and up, those I don't know, I still see a lot of people my age outside.
Me too.
They
stay outside.
They stay outside.
I think it's a different way that people are partying, and which is causing a lot of brick and mortars to close as well, because you see a lot of cannabis shops, coffee shops,
smoke shops,
little small bars popping up where you can kind of get everything in one place, right? So I think you have to find a niche. If you're talking about open up a brick and mortar, make sure that the consumer needs what you're going to offer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
In this market, if you're going to say, I'm going to get a building, make sure it's needed, or you're wasting your money.
So you got to make sure your inventory or whatever you're trying to sell is needed, like you said, needed for the community. Try not to have anything that's outdated.
Correct.
or just not an interest to no one.
Exactly.
You may say, oh, this is going to sell, but you can try it. Do like a trial run to see, and then if it does not, throw some money behind it in marketing. Maybe if that doesn't work, get rid of it.
And I'm going to give you an example, not knocking anyone's business, but how many cupcake shops can you have? How many coffee shops can you have? If you know your market and your location, that might be perfect for you. Like if you live in an area where there's a lot of elderly people, they love coffee and pies and cakes. So opening a small coffee shop, offering that, yes. But if you go to a major city like Orlando, there's a coffee shop and a cupcake shop on every single corner. So how much business are you really going to garner? And one more thing. Think about going plant-based. No one has captured that market fully yet. No one.
I'm upset about that, because we're in 2024 and you can go out to eat, and as a plant-based person, it's hard to find food.
It is.
I don't know why certain companies aren't capturing that market share.
Yes,
because there's a lot of plant-based, there's a lot of vegans, a lot of vegetarians.
Yeah, and there's a lot of even meat eaters who want to meatless Mondays, or trying to pull back on meat. Like, why we don't have fast food vegan restaurants,
or just good vegan restaurants? More of them opening up. Capture that market share, because as you can see, we Red Lobster's closing.
We named quite a few.
It seemed like Burger King struggling.
What in the world is going on with Burger? Every time you drive by one, look like it's closed.
It's closed, yeah. And I would not eat there. I wouldn't.
Tell them about what happened. Why you won't eat there no more?
Because I went to one over by the airport, ordered a Impossible Burger. Right. Firstly, I'm always nervous when I order plant. I have to make sure I repeat myself. I repeat myself when I order it. When I get to the window, I say, "Is this the Impossible Burger, whatever vegan option it is?" So I got it on the way to the airport. So I started eating it. Tastes funny. Now it wasn't meat.
Okay, so they didn't give you a real burger.
No, they didn't give me a real burger. But my thing is, how long had that patty or whatever been in the freezer. It tastes weird.
Because it's plant-based.
Because it's plant-based. I'm not sure,
how often they sell
it. But those things, like if I go to like a Burger King or something like that and I see like nobody there, I'm not stopping.
I'm not eating.
Yeah. I mean, that food is probably old.
It's been frozen for a very long time.
For a very long time.
So we wanted to just share that, like the plant-based market is booming, and frozen foods are booming. But think about opening a brick and mortar and having plant-based people come in every day to your restaurant. You can sustain in this economy.
Yeah, that's finding your niche. A different type of niche to stand out.
Exactly. And I know y'all saying, why y'all don't do it? Because that's not our market.
Yeah, that's not my not my monkey, not my show.
Exactly. Let's get into some concerns that we had when we were doing this research. So we're going to share it with you. And as small business owners, we were concerned about limited financial reserves. So unlike these big old companies, Walmart, Publix, whomever, small businesses don't have unlimited resources. So we are forced to sit and recalculate, rebrand sometimes, pivot, right? So those are some things we should be concerned about, limited financial resources.
Yeah, and definitely we should really think about how we should move around having limited financial resources. If you need something like a loan, it would be harder to get.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Small business.
Because you're a small business, and banks are not just giving out money in times that is so uncertain.
They've been very stingy, and the interest rates are higher than the amount of money they want to loan you.
Exactly.
Crazy.
So let's say small business go to the bank to apply for a loan versus a mid-size to a large company. They're going to get the loan because they may feel like the larger company is more stable, to pay them back.
Pay them back faster.
Yeah. And even we see these bigger stores closing these, whether it's retail, whether it's restaurant. How much more should we be focusing on maintaining our business more now than ever, making sure that our inventory is on point, making sure that we have good customer service, making sure that we are answering the phone, making sure that we have a digital footprint online, social media everywhere.
I want to go back to customer service because a lot of these stores are also closing in the research we did because of customer service. They don't have the people there to work, or the people that are there working are being rude to the customers. And so people don't like the experience anymore of engaging with human beings because we could be so difficult sometimes. So that's another reason why a lot of people are online. So consider upgrading your customer service, right? Make sure that when people buy your product or take advantage of your service, you're giving them top notch so that they come back and tell somebody else.
So that means either you're handling the customer service or you're hiring the right person. Even if you're talking about on the phone, because it's one thing to see go to a place and interact face to face, but sometimes a lot of it's done on the phone, and you have these people that's rude.
Completely.
You can't really understand what they're saying when you call these places.
That's true.
Or don't know. Seemingly they don't know what they're talking about.
Because nobody's training anymore. Everybody got into during the pandemic time. Not everybody. A lot of people who wanted to open businesses, they jumped in and they didn't do the solid work. So they jump in, they hiring people from different countries that know nothing about your business, and that puts a stain when somebody calls, as you said, can't understand you, and you don't know anything. So all you actually are is an answering service. Right? Another thing we should be concerned about is supply chain vulnerabilities. If you have to have your stuff shipped in, especially people who do hair, they have those creams and coloring, all of that to consider. It's huge. So you want to make sure that you're building a very tight relationship with them, but also be aware that they're going to go with the big box people first. So let's make sure that we are focusing on these issues as business owners during this time, because inflation is hitting everyone.
And another thing about the supply chain, you may want to shop around for other suppliers, because if you cannot get whether your goods, whether it's a restaurant or retail store, shipped to you in a timely fashion, that means that whatever it is on your menu is not going to be there. Whatever it is in your store, you're not going to have. and it may cost you more to get it.
Yep.
You know, that means wait time. It may take you 10 days instead of 7 now.
7 days.
You know, or whatever it is. So you might want to first diversify
your supply chain.
Your supply chain.
Yep. And technological advancements, right? If we have not done that, if you have not done that in your business, regardless of what it is, find out what technological advances you can use, or you're going to be left behind as well. Because there are a lot of people who are still counting on the basics, right?
Oh, yeah.
I know Word, I know I can draw, I can use a computer. No, you have to learn to use AI, ChatGPT, and there's so many others I'm not even going to name, but everybody should know ChatGPT. But there are so many AI platforms that if you're not being familiarizing yourself with them and learning them, business is not going to survive.
Yeah, and also with this these technical advances comes with, again, we always talking about your online presence.
Yep.
And making sure that you're everywhere. If no one knows about your business,
they can't buy it.
They can't buy it.
They can't patronize you.
There are millions of people wanting to spend money with you only if they knew you existed.
And how many people are in the world?
It's billions, 8 billion.
8 billion people in the world. And we were saying that since last year, so it might have been another million babies. So all we're saying is, as small business owners and entrepreneurs, let's make sure we're paying attention to what's going on. We want to survive. All of us want to survive. We want you to survive, which is why we're bringing you this information today. And guess what? We told you the concerns. Now we're going to tell you, share some things with you to help you stay afloat.
Go ahead. What's one thing we can share with the folks?
Cost management. Focus on efficient cost management. Consider, as you said earlier, buying in bulk.
Yeah.
Right. So these are 2 things you can do to optimize your inventory level. Start that now. Right. If you need a loan, try to act now, where before too many more of these big box companies go under. Try to get a loan now. So that's cost management.
Or if you don't, because a loan you got to pay back. Or just shift your business model as much as you can, you know, to cut some of the fat. Because some of the things, let's say, even with what we do,
right?
I'm going to do some inventory soon. Some equipment I don't even use.
Correct.
You know, I've purchased, but now it's here, kind of in my way.
Right.
So I think when you go leaner, you can kind of it's like a mindset that you have where you know, go. Like minimize your surroundings, and you're able to think more. You see what you got, see what you need.
Clarity.
Yeah, it's more clarity.
It's like spring cleaning in your business.
Yeah.
You have to continue to do that. As you said, we do have so much equipment that we purchased through the years. We don't need it. It's not even. It could be used. Another company could use it. So we're going to put it up on our website. We're going to sell some things.
Declutter your business is what I'm getting at.
Spring
because
clean.
Yeah, spring. I mean, it would. I am telling you, just like when you clean your house, you feel better. Yes. When you clean your car, you feel better. When you get a haircut, you feel better. You know, you need me a cut, but you feel better.
Feel better,
so,
and you do better.
Yeah, you feel better, you do better, and that's a part of your business. What do you call it? I guess your physical footprint as a business person. Just clean the digital footprint, physical footprint. Clean that up, and adapt to the trends.
You have to. Sometimes you have to redo your page. Sometimes you have. Let me say that better. Sometimes you have to remodel your social media pages, your platforms, to keep customer engagement, to kind of stand out and be unique. Because if you look like everybody else, I can just go anywhere. Yep. So we got to make ourselves stand out.
Stand out, and how to and we talk about that again. If you're a realtor, don't and if you don't know how to use the camera or even your smartphone properly, do not post your listings online.
It doesn't look
with blurry photos, or you don't know how to frame it properly, or you know, it's no drone footage. You know, it's not really showing your house because there's so many agents that do spend money for marketing purposes
properly.
And here you come with your cell phone and you wonder why you're not getting sales.
And then you have some people who have venues that they rent out. They say, hey, come, you can patronize my venue for your parties and your meetings. But when they post, you can't hear You can't see properly. Why would I want to come patronize your business for a meeting and you don't have the tools I need?
Exactly.
Right. So if you're going to be a restaurant and you're saying I can have my event here, or if you are a event venue and you say, but you don't have the tools to properly supply my event, why would I continue to come to you?
Yeah, you don't have a projector.
You don't have a projector. You don't have good mics.
You don't have mics.
Yeah, you don't have cameras.
You know,
got people in there with their cell phones holding and recording. That doesn't look good.
Right. And diversification, which means find products that really sell. You know, you may have this new product that, you know, everyone is into right now. Maybe offer that. Like I said before, it may be a time to try new things. That's what I'm getting at.
Explore partnerships.
Explore partnerships.
Do that.
Yeah, explore collaborations. With your neighbor business, or reach out to somebody that may be in a whole different industry from you, and try to see how you can come together and form some type of community.
There you go.
You know what I mean? During these times, because if these big companies are going out of business, small companies don't have a chance. I'm telling you. What is the chance? What are the chances of us, you know, being affected the same way?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important, like all the podcast studios and videography studios, content studios in Orlando, we're not in competition with you in a way where we're like, we don't want you to make money. We can partner as well, right? Hey, I have this many square feet. I have these many rooms at my place. It looks like this. We do set design. What do you do? Is yours, you know, already set up? So, hey, somebody's looking for this. I'm going to send you over here, and vice versa. We're not working together anymore. Everybody's just concerned about themselves. And when you do that, now we see what's happened with the big box stores. It was all about money. Now they're crumbling. Yeah. And if we follow suit with the model they put out, being selfish, we're going to crumble too.
And here's the thing: these billion-dollar companies are in business for a reason. And when you see like chains consolidating like their stores, for example, if you're traveling, sometimes you'll see a McDonald's and a Taco Bell together, because they have the same parent company.
Correct.
You know, they could have two separate stores. The companies they make enough money to have a McDonald's here and a Taco Bell across the street, or whatever, Subway and whatever else is in that store. But they're showing you how we should act.
Partnerships.
Or smaller footprint. Yeah.
And they're combining.
They're combining right in our faces. And if they are going through hard times, again, I'm repeating, we better really think about our business model.
We gotta do
we need to consolidate, like you said, join with another company, or do we need to get rid of our brick and mortar spot? You know, and don't be ashamed.
What is there to be ashamed of? Because we're considering that too. You have to sit and consider a lot of stuff, right? Because you can do videography from anywhere, right? Not saying we're closing. We're saying we're looking because of what the research we've done. We have to consider that as well and become mobile. Have you ever heard of mobile videography service, mobile content studios? Like, we are considering those things because we're paying attention to what's going on in the market.
And that's another thing. Pay attention to what's going on. And as a business owner, we gotta stay focused on the trends. We have to stay focused on our bottom line. We have to stay focused on, you know, getting up every day to do this all over again. Every day. We have to do that. Or we'll like Red Lobster. Or the Dollar Tree.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
I want to say something, what you just said. I want to spend a little time on reminding us as business owners that we have to get up every day and do it. We're tired. And some of us say, well, I'm doing the same thing. When you were in the 9 to 5, we were doing the same thing. Yeah. Right? So we have to have a mind shift. It's hard out there. It's hard. It's challenging, but it can also be very rewarding. You have to stay focused. You keep your head down and keep going, right? Yep. Nobody needs to know everything about your business except you. Only you should know what's going on internally, and then give everybody else the best impression of your business, right? We don't have to always think that we're going to fail. We only fail when we stop moving.
That's it.
So if I wake up in the morning and say, today I'm not doing nothing, then my business is not going to grow.
Yeah. And we have to have the mindset of when we worked the 9-to-5 job, whatever that boss said, we was on it.
We were on it.
We were on it because we were being, I guess, monitored or whatever. But
that's how we got our paycheck.
That's how we got a paycheck, our performance bonuses or whatever. But as an entrepreneur, you have to be self-motivated to do that. So you got to go just as hard for your business as you went for the other person's business, you know? And sometimes it's easy to not do that because you give yourself these breaks or these excuses why, oh, you know, today or yesterday was tough, so today I'm gonna take it easy. Right. That's not expected on your 9-to-5 job. They don't care how hard the day before was. They want you to show up. So what we're saying is show up for your business. Show up for it. You have to.
Show up for yourself.
Show up for yourself.
Nobody else is going to do it. And we want to make sure we all stay in business. We opened with, is your favorite store closing? I don't want anybody's store to close, right? I want the local businesses in my area to keep thriving. And that's why here on the Boss Move Network, we're always talking about networking. If we patronize each other's businesses, we can stay afloat.
Yep.
So let's support each other more in 2024.
That's right. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We thank you for watching this episode of For the Record.
Later.
We run this town from entrepreneurs to investors. We in the zone, sharing knowledge, making moves. We a microphone for the record. We got the facts. For the record, we run.